Molière's 17th century comedy, The Misanthrope, worked very well set in the present day in the recent production smartly directed by Panil Camp at Washington University. The characters are all young, the age of the college students who are playing them. They belong to a privileged class in their society, like students, though they never go to class. They just circulate from house to house where the liquor flows, music plays, and the dancing and the clever conversation go on, as we see in the home of Célimène, a beautiful, bright 20-year-old with many suitors. Like students today, each has a smartphone. Molière's billets-doux are now text messages, but messages can go astray on the internet, and Célimène discovers, to her considerable embarrassment, the text in which she has made witty negative remarks about one of her many suitors have wound up on the phone of that very person several times. But Célimène is young and beautiful and witty and clever, and she will no doubt survive this misstep and flourish. Director Camp opens the play with several of the young people dancing at Célimène's open house. The dancing goes on too long, but it serves to isolate one individual, Alceste. Dressed by costume designer Chloe Carman in Hamlet's customary suit of inky black, Alceste refuses to dance, and when forced onto the dance floor, barely moves. Alceste is the misanthrope of the title. He's disgusted by humanity's failure to live up to its professed ideals. He upbraids his friend Philante for effusively greeting someone and then admitting that he doesn't remember the man's name. Philante is a reasonable person. A little hypocrisy, Philante explains, is the grease that oils the wheels of social intercourse. Too much honesty throws sand into those gears. Alceste insists on his ideals. But Alceste is also a young man, and all his exalted ethics have not kept him from falling in love with Célimène. She's beautiful and bright, but just as prone to the hypocrisy and white lies and catty remarks of the rest of her crowd. Alceste suffers. The play does not have an easy, happy ending. How could it? The production used the delightful translation by Richard Wilbur, done like the original in rhymed couplets. The cast handled the lines well, especially Charlie Cotton as Alceste and Gabe Hoffman as his friend Philante. Anna McConnell was at her best in Célimène's witty takedowns of her friends. Jackie Fancher was sweet and sensible as Eliant, a good match for Philante. Scott Greenberg played a would-be poet offended by Alceste's honest critique. The jealousy of Arsinoe burned through the friendly improvements she suggested to Célimène in Megan McElroy's performance. Hal Matthews and Danny Warshaleski had full of themselves fun as a Tweedledum and Tweedledee pair of marquises. Rose Shapiro and Joss Parrick were an alert pair of servants. Played in the round, a Lindsay Isold set design featured a bold glass wall at one end of the stage and au courant furnishings for Célimène's place. Victoria Yin's sound design included entr'acte rock numbers sung by cast members. Alexander Booth designed the lights. This production of The Misanthrope gave us Molière, our contemporary.
Yes, and I like the fact that when they were doing those musical numbers you mentioned, you could see the lyrics on a monitor on the stage.
And really follow them, yes. We'll be watching some of these productions from our 2 seats on the aisle.
And we'll be watching the mail for your thoughts on theater in this program and for items from the calendar. Send them to 2 on the Aisle, HECTV, 3221 McKelvey Road, Bridgeton, Missouri 63044, or by email to tota@hectv.org.
Join Deborah Sharn for more news about theater on the KDHX podcast, Break a Leg Theater in St. Louis and beyond. And find more news about all the arts on State of the Arts on HECTV on Sundays and Thursdays at 7 p.m.
Catch Bob's reviews on KDHX.
Catch both of us next time on cable and the web for religious surprises.
We'll see you then.